أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ به من شرور انفسنا وسيئات اعمالنا انه من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال الله تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد أيها المسلمون والمسلمات السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praises and thanks belong to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the world. We praise Him, we glorify Him, we seek His help and forgiveness. We seek His forgiveness from the evils of our own souls and misdeeds. We testify that there is no other God except Allah, He is known and only. And we also testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a slave and messenger of Allah. Very good. Whosoever Allah has guided, no one can misguide. And indeed, whomsoever Allah has caused to go astray, no one can guide. We welcome ourselves to this Jumah service, as we always do, by saying that Allah has given us this opportunity to witness another Jumah, simply because He is being merciful on us to have a routine and to have another opportunity towards implementing the reasons why we exist. Indeed, there are many people who worshipped last Friday in one Jumah from the other, but today Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called them on way. And our own existence in this moment is not because it's not because we are doing anything special that is making us to deserve being alive at this point. However, it is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided to count us among those who are still alive and who are still have the opportunity to worship Him more. Brothers and sisters in Islam, this is an opportunity that we must not take lightly and we must not joke with. Because for every moment that we breathe in and breathe out, those moments are being counted for us. And there will be a moment that those breathing in and breathing out will come to an end. There will be a time when those inhalation and exhalation will cease, and at that time there will be no opportunity for us to engage in any act of worship again. So we should take the opportunity that we have seriously, and we should take it as the fact that Allah is being merciful on us to worship Him the more. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasized, and we always remind ourselves of it. The only reason why we exist, the fact that the reason why He created us is for us to worship Him. The humans and the jinns is for us to worship Him. So our existence is to worship Him, and our existence must be directed towards the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We welcome ourselves to today's Jumah, which coincidentally is part of this happening within the Founders Week activities of the University of Medical Sciences in Ondo State, and where we are. And as members of the university and teaching hospital communities, we are to rejoice with the university and to also pray for the university towards the growth and progress of the institution. So we encourage ourselves after the Jumah Solat to wait a little for a brief prayer for the university community, the management, the staff, and all of us after the Jumah Solat, inshallah. Giving it unto us, provide guidance on every affair and every activities of our existence. There is no activity that occurs in the life of a human being that Islam has not provided guidance on it. Guidance has been revealed on everything that has to do with our existence. Be it how to breathe, be it how to worship, be it how to relate in the environment. Islam has provided guidance on everything that has to do with human existence. And this is important because the one who created us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created us, who fashioned us, who created the whole universe, is the one who can tell us how to enjoy the universe, how best to live the universe, how best to enjoy our life. Otherwise, if there is no such guidance from the Maker, we will misuse our existence. We will use our existence with our whims, with our desires. And as we can see, this is happening around the world. People are living in loss. We see people nowadays, some people are saying they are even recognizing themselves as dogs, as cats, that they are no more human beings. So people are living in loss. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Asr, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah swore by time. Allah said, verily, human being, mankind is in a state of loss. All human beings, they are in a state of loss. And you can see this loss everywhere. Some people that are even, they have 2 legs walking, they are fine. They say now they are recognizing themselves as handicapped. And that is what they want to be now. Mankind is in a state of loss. There are people who are male, they say they are now recognizing themselves as females. We have females that are saying they are now recognizing themselves as males. Some are even saying they are non-gender, they don't have any gender. So mankind is in a state of loss, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Surah Al-Asr. But Allah continued. Allah said, except those who believe, and they do good deeds. Except those who believe, and they do good deeds, and they speak the truth. But good deeds, there are several definitions to it. It includes our worship, it includes a lot of things that we still discuss today, and many more. So we are among those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given guidance, and He has exempted us from this loss that mankind is facing. And it is important that this extension says that we are different. The Muslims are different in moral orientations, in the things that we do, in the manners and the approach that we do our things. And if there is a Muslim who lives his life or our life differently from those who are not Muslims, then such person should call themselves to order. They should have a rethink, because a Muslim is by default different from those who are non-Muslims. In fact, the Prophet emphasized this. He said, glad tidings to the strangers. Give glad tidings, give them good news. Those who are strangers, who are among people, they see them, and those are the believers.
They see them and they say that, oh, your own behavior is not like every other person. And these are the believers. So, a believer is different from someone who is not a believer. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also confirmed this in Surah Al-Kafirun. Allah said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say, Allah was telling the prophets, call on the disbelievers, call on those who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. O you disbelievers, la abudu ma ta'budun. I worship that which you are worshiping. You are not worshiping what I am worshiping, I am not worshiping what you are worshiping, and I shall not, I won't worship what you are worshiping, but I am to abidun and you will not worship what I am worshiping. Lakum dinakum waliyadin. For you is your religion, and for me is my religion. So this is the state of the Muslim, to confirm that a Muslim is different in moral application, because a Muslim is guided in all affairs. In all affairs. In dressing, in everything you want to talk about. Going to toilet, there is a rule on everything that has to do with our existence. And we as Muslims must learn these rules, we must take them into consideration in all our affairs if we really want to succeed. So, today, in the light of the ongoing Founders Week celebration in the university, we want to admonish ourselves about the manners and attitude and the behavior of ideal Muslims in a community, in a society, be it a university community, be it a bigger society or a smaller society that we find ourselves. How should a Muslim, what is the guidance of Islam on the behavior of the Muslim? Brothers and sisters in Islam, as Muslims, we understand our mission in life. And we know that the mission is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mission is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or there are things that we use to support that mission that we are doing on it. So it's important we understand that the whole of our existence is targeted for one purpose, and that is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this in the ayah that we have quoted, I have not created the jinn and the human except that they worship me. So everything that we do must be targeted towards this worship. And that includes our interaction in the society, in the community. Whether as students in the university, or as lecturers, or as CMD, or as vice chancellor, or as professor, or as anything in the university, or in any other society that we find ourselves, any other thing that we may be, our interaction, our dealings must be targeted towards worshiping Allah. Everything we do must be in our professions. What we must be aiming towards is using everything to worship Allah, to gain the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, our daily interaction as we contact people in the university, as we contact people in our society, even those who are not members of the society of the university, those who are just other people who are with us here and they are not members of the society of the university, Islam has provided a universal guidance on how do you interact with people, how do you relate with people, how do you behave in any society that you find ourselves. And this is what makes a social personality of a Muslim, which Islam has actually provided guidance on for anyone in the society. So the number one of these, that is, when we find a Muslim on campus, or when we find a Muslim in any society, the number one thing that we must find with him is that he must be a truthful person. Islam demands that a Muslim must be truthful in all situations that he or she finds him or herself. So a true Muslim is truthful in all situations, wherever you find yourself. It is required by Islam. A true Muslim must be truthful in every situation that you find yourself, because truthfulness leads to goodness. Truthfulness leads to goodness, and goodness leads to paradise. And conversely, falsehood leads to iniquity, it leads to evil. Falsehood, it leads to evil, and evil leads to hell. And Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam clarified this in one of his hadiths, where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, truthfulness leads to piety and beer, and piety leads to paradise. And the Prophet emphasized that a man will continue to speak the truth until he is recorded with Allah as a truthful person. That as a as a sincere lover of truth. His name will be written in the record that this person is a truthful person. And the Prophet also mentioned that falsehood leads to iniquity, it leads to evil, and this leads to hell. And a man will continue to be a liar. He will continue to speak falsehood until he is also recorded in another document as a known liar with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, Islam emphasizes the fact that in our interaction in any environment that we find ourselves, whether we are in a university setting, even within the family, in interacting with all human beings, all people, we must be truthful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also emphasizes this in the Quran. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, Allah called on us, Allah called on the believers. Say, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, taqullah, fear Allah. Allah always calls us to that attention. Fear Allah, fear me. Because Allah is worth fearing. Whoever obeys Allah, whoever listens to Allah and the Prophet, such person has indeed attained great success. Those are the people that have attained great success. So, speaking the truth is one of the characteristics that a Muslim must exhibit within any environment he finds himself. The second thing is that a Muslim is someone who does not cheat. When you are dealing with people in the environment, a Muslim does not cheat, a Muslim does not deceive, a Muslim does not stab someone in the back. These are all characteristics that must not be seen with a Muslim. And Islam made them compulsory on us that we must not be part of those people. So as Muslims, we are someone who must not be found cheating, who must not be found as someone who is deceptive, who must not be found as someone who is stabbing others in the back. And this is very important for us as Muslims. And the Prophet ﷺ made this clear in one of the hadith that we have. The Prophet was passing in the market one day and he saw a pile of food, a grain. He now piled the food. The Prophet now dipped his hands under that food and he felt some moist part of the food, they were moist. And the Prophet said, O seller of food, what is this? And the man replied, it is rain that has spoiled some of the food. The Prophet now said, it's someone who is deceitful is not part of us. Why didn't you put that one that is wet at the top so that people can see it? You put the dry one at the top. And that was what that's how the Prophet taught us that a Muslim, he said, a cheat or a deceitful person is not part of us. So a Muslim must not be someone who deceives. A Muslim is not someone who cheats. A Muslim is not someone who stabs others in the back. So in our deen, he said there are three people whom I will oppose on the day of resurrection. Number one, a man who gave his word and he betrayed. He gave his word, then he betrayed. The Prophet said he will oppose such person on the day of resurrection. The second person is a man who sold a free slave. It's a free man into slavery. Someone is free, you throw him into slavery and you kept the money. And then a man who hired someone benefited from his labor and then refused to pay his wages. Just as we see around us today. Many governments, many employers, they are not paying wages. They hold their workers' wages. In Islam, the different thing is that the sweat of the worker must not dry before you pay him. He has done the work. The sweat that is on him must not dry before you pay him his wages. And the Prophet said, these are the people you will oppose on the day of resurrection. So a Muslim is not among those who should be found doing all this. The number three characteristic is that a Muslim is not someone who is envious. Envy, hasad, is not part of what a Muslim must be found doing. Whether we are in the office, whether we are out of the office, whether we are in the family, in the community, a Muslim must not be envious of others. Envy is an evil thing. It's an evil thing. A Muslim must not be envious of others. There are a lot of jealousy that you see something good in someone and you wish that you also have it. But not that you wish that the person lose that thing. That is envy. When you see something good in someone and all you wish is that that person should not have had that thing. It should have been you. Envy is not allowed in our religion. And the Prophet sternly warned about envy. The Prophet said, faith and envy do not go together in the heart of a servant. If they are a believing servant, then faith and envy cannot stay together in a single heart. It's either the faith leaves, the envy stays, or the envy leaves while the faith stays. So a Muslim must be conscious of this, not to be envious of others, not to give any room to that because someone is doing well or something, and you now wish bad for that person. It is very easy, and it's one of the things that is very known in Islam. The effect of the evil eye. People look at you and they are looking at you with very evil mind, very bad mind. They want something bad to happen to you. And it's part of all the askar we do in the morning when we wake up. Part of all those prayers that we do in the morning to seek protection from all these kind of people. Because they are in the society. Islam confirms that evil eye is real. People can look at you and then something bad happens to you because they feel bad for them. They want something bad to happen to you. Islam confirms it. This can happen. While he was at home with him, he was washing him, the man was not doing anything special. He wasn't doing anything special. He just go to mosque, come back. He slept all night. He didn't even wake up for Tahajjud for the 3 days he spent with him. And Islam was like, what is this man doing special? And the prophet was saying, someone from paradise is coming and you are the one that is coming in. So after the 3rd day, Abdullah now told me, my brother, I don't have any issue with my father. This is what has happened. 3 times, for 3 consecutive days, the prophet has said someone out of the inmates of paradise will come in, and you are the one that is coming in. And I wanted to see what you are doing, but I have not seen anything special. And the man replied, it is only what you have seen. That is what I am. But I do not hold anything against any Muslim. And I do not, in my heart, I do not hold anything against any Muslim, and I do not envy anyone for the blessing that Allah has bestowed on them. So Abdullah said, indeed, that is what has qualified you for what the Prophet said. And so we can see how important the issue of envy is. It's something that can, if one is someone who is avoiding it, it's something that can take one into paradise. So our interaction with people is important. We are very conscious to make sure that we are following Islamic injunctions. And this also confirms that if you are someone who is envious, even if you are doing several acts of ibadah, in fact, in another hadith, in another narration, the prophet was told about a woman who worships a lot in the night, and he uses the day to fast. And then the prophet was told, this woman worships a lot in the night, she fasts during the day, but she always abuses her neighbor. The prophet said, she is in the hellfire. That's what the prophet said. He said she's in the hellfire. Because her neighbors are not free, they are not okay with her. She is abusive of neighbors. She's not conscious of her interaction with the neighbors. So a Muslim is someone in any society we find ourselves, in any community. We are not people who have to be asked. It's by compulsion. All these are not, although they may look like a normal thing that should be, but these are not what you find in the society. People are envious of one another. People are not truthful. People are not truthful. You see someone with one memo, they do one doctoring, something. A Muslim must not be part of this. A Muslim must not. It's compulsory. You must not. So the Prophet said that woman, she will be in there. Because, so this tells us that it's not just about ibadah. It's not just about what, it's a ibadah and worship is a key part of what will take us to paradise. Nevertheless, all these muamalat, all these other issues about interacting with people, about how you make people to feel, they are things that they can spoil all those ibadah that someone will do if one is not conscious, if one is not careful. So in our dealing with people in the environment, whether they are Muslim, whether they are non-Muslim, a Muslim must not be empty. One big body of knowledge in Islam that we must invest in, we must learn about the religion. The religion has guidance on everything. How do you worship? How do you wake up? How do you, people who are married, there is a way Islam says you should beat someone who is married, someone who has given birth, there is a way you should beat down, someone that has lost someone, there is a way. Islam has guidance on everything, but Muslims are not following this. A lot of Muslims are not following this because they are and they are not. Even those who learn, they just, some of them just push it aside and take on to their own life, distracted with all the things that are going on in the world. So a Muslim is someone who must keep his promise. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to emphasize this in Surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh you who believe, those of you who are believers, why do you say things that you will not do? Allah says, why do you say something that you will not do? Why is it coming out of your mouth? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuing in the next verse by saying, Kabura muqtan inda Allahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun. Allah said, it is most hateful to Allah that you say things that you will not do, that you don't do. Allah hates it. You promise something and you are not going to do it. You do not do it. Allah categorically states in the Quran that He hates it. So a Muslim by default must be someone who always fulfill their promise. To fulfill the promise. If you promise anything, if you won't do it, don't promise it. Not that you know that you will not give that person the 5,000, but you just want him to leave your side. You say, I'll give you 5,000 tomorrow. I'll give you this one tomorrow. But you know that you will not do it. Don't deceive the person. So these are important matters in our religion, and they are compulsory matters. In fact, if you make a promise in Islam and you fail, there are expiations that you must, there are things that you must do to expiate. Even as bad as promising a child, I will buy sweet for you when I'm coming. Islam forbids it. In fact, in an hadith, the Prophet was with a woman, and the woman called the child, come, I will give you something. And the Prophet now said, what are you going to give the child? The woman now said, I'll give her so. The Prophet now said, you will have been a liar if you will not tell me that. Islam does not joke with the issue of lying, all these issues with dealing with human beings. Because there are guidance from them. And these are guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought to us through the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we as Muslims, as we find ourselves in the university community, in any environment that we find ourselves, these are the standards that we must always live with. It's not because we want to show that because we are Muslims, but because it is compulsory on us. If these are things that if you are doing, you will get a reward. If you are not doing, you will get punished for them. You will account for them. It's not just that they say I don't get reward. No, if you are someone who is always making problems, no, you account for it. Even just take care of animal more than yourself. And today they are shouting animal rights. Go and read the hadith. The body of Islam, the body of knowledge in Islam is so big, but we are not reading them. We are not reading them. We are not learning from them. We are not learning from them. I've cited it here before. Even this man that wrote this biology book, Kitman, at a point he had to reference the Quran. That the earliest record of embryonic development was in the Quran. He referenced it. I read it myself in his book. In that embryology textbook. Islam has a big body of knowledge, but we are not following. We are not doing what we are supposed to do. We also want to be in the vibe. Things are going on. We want to be part of it, and we are distracted. So the Prophet says, whoever does not show compassion to people, Allah will not have mercy on him. That was the Prophet said this with that. You are the one holding the cash, or there is petrol scarcity. You are the one holding the petrol. You are not compassionate on people. You are not a Muslim. It's not part of Islam. You must be compassionate on people. That is what the Prophet said. He said, whoever does not show compassion to people, Allah will not show mercy on them. So Islam has endowed us with all this guidance of good attitude, of good manners that we must imbibe as members of the university community, as members of the teaching hospital community, as members of wherever we find ourselves. Anywhere we find ourselves, these are attitudes that must exemplify us, that must show you. They are compulsory. It's not if I like, I will do. If I like, I will not do. No. If you are a Muslim, these are things that are compulsory on you. And the Prophet also said that one of the things that will weigh more in the scale of the person on the day of judgment is their good attitude. In that the Prophet said, nothing will weigh more heavily in the balance of the religious servants on the day of day of the resurrection, that the good attitude towards others, the way you treat others. There's a whole body of knowledge that explains how do you treat even from one person to another, different group of people. How do you treat in-law? How do you treat? Islam has knowledge on everything. There is not one place wherever we are in our the prophet, even though Allah described the prophet as the best of character, the person with the best of character, the prophet himself always asked Allah for good character, for good behavior. He always speaks to me about it. Oh, Allah, you are the one that has created me well. Please make my behavior and my character. But it's something that can make someone remove the goodness from their worship. So, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, but all this is important that Muslims, we as Muslims, we also establish relationship with our Lord. It's good to be a part-time person. We always tell ourselves, our Islam is not just about being in the mosque. It's not that when you step out of the mosque, there is no Islam. You can see all this what we've been saying. There are things that deal with how we treat people in society. So Islam is in everywhere, not just when you come into the mosque. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idkhulu fi silmi kafatan. Enter into Allah, and the Prophet have decided on the matter. For him to not still be saying, but I have an idea, I don't think that thing we should do it that way. When the Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they said this, I should do it. It's an idea in the Well, what is that knowledge that you think you have? That which intelligence or which do you think you have? Intelligence that you are looking at me, you can't see the back. Forgive our shortcomings and admit us into His mercy. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to grow in our university, make the university to become a place of positive impact in the society, a place of knowledge that is beneficial to the whole of mankind, and assist the university to overcome all these challenges. We also pray for all our patients who are in the clinic, Allah can them shifa, and every other person who is sick one way or the other, Allah can them shifa. Inshallah, after the Solat, let's make a YouTube. There will be a very short prayer from the university as part of the ongoing Founders Week program. Just a very brief prayer to pray.
يا الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. As part of the ongoing founders program, we have the representative of the investors who are among us, also of our own Professor A. Abubakar, who the Vice Chancellor has seated part of us today to represent him. Before we have the prayer to round it all off, I will like to invite Professor Abubakar to give us the Vice Chancellor's message on the community.
I've been requesting from the Vice Chancellor to educate service and the management team. Actually, registered with the community for organizing this short prayer to commemorate the Father's Day of this Bible. I think by December 15th, we will be 9 years. And by next year, today, we are 9 years old, and by next year, inshallah, we will be 10. And the management, through the leadership of the faculty, assuring the Muslim community that the university main office, headquarters, let me say, that the Vice Chancellor's office, the bursary, and the faculties, apart from clinical, will be moving to the main site along the Lady Inshallah. If some of us have the opportunity of visiting today, we all agree with me that a lot of works are going on there. He asked me to inform us that we are working around the clock to make sure that we, by the 10th year anniversary on that day, we celebrate located there, inshallah, next year. And he also asked me to tell the Muslim community that we should look out for the right location that our mosque can be sited. He said he always known Muslim Ummah to be based later. Maybe because of the nature of our own mode of working. We just have to, any new environment we find ourselves, we have to locate an environment that can be conducive for us to observe our piety prayer. So, in the light of that, he said the Muslim community should visit the site and look at the appropriate place that can be suitable for directing of the mosque. And we can start making effort to see how we can use the lodging to direct the mosque. And I want to admonish the imam to set up committee to that regard so that we can visit the place and give the word to the management. Also, to establish to get a place for us at Ondo, in spite of all our requests, the Vice Chancellor said, don't worry about that because of the short of space in that place. And the place that we are planning to temporarily use has been put into use for other university activities. So I say I should convey his message to you that it was not dedicated, that it was of the limited space at Ondo that made that one impossible. And I personally have discussed with the chief imam that probably we have to look at ODC if we can get a place there that we can use temporarily, spending time to be moving to the main site so that we can also relate to money. But it is very important to get a place where we can be observing at least the two prayers that will be meeting us while in office. I think the Muslim community, under the head of the Imam, will look into that so that we not relent on the preaching. Surely, in continuous prayer, we are going to get something from God. Once again, we appreciate the effort of the Muslim community that we are not involved in any kind of atrocity, especially the academic and non-teaching. We have many people, even in the university, that have been linked with the moral practices. So far, so good, we are not seeing Muslims among those that have been harmed. And he now challenged us to keep it up and make use of the sermon we are hearing every Friday and impact this into our students to be well behaved and keep the good pace and this peaceful environment we have been trying to establish that is well appreciated by management. And on the last note, that the fact that University of Medical Science have not embarked on any form of site in the university is a collective contribution of both Muslim and non-Muslim. That the university appreciates the effort of the community in realizing this. Once again, the university people, which is all happy Founders Day anniversary. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
ọlọ́run bá náà ní ọba tí ó máa ń jẹ́ kí nǹkan dàgbà tó bá gbígbàdúrà náà ọlọ́run ti fi sí ọ̀dọ̀ gbogbo wa náà àti gbogbo wa náà kí ayé ṣe bí sí ìmọ̀ ìkọ̀lé láti ọdún yunifásitì wa gbogbo àwọn ọkọ̀ tó ń jẹ́ challenges ti yunifásitì náà face àwọn àkọ́ ó jẹ́ pé yunifásitì bala ó jẹ́ kó máa pọ̀ sí ìrọ̀lẹ́ dáadáa náà kó sì máa pọ̀ sí ìgbẹ́ náà bá gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní yunifásitì náà láti lórí iléèwé náà iṣẹ́ faculty àwọn management àwọn principal officers deans and directors HODs àti àwọn staff muslim non-muslim everybody students àbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀ma kó máa fi ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀ma ní àṣeyọrí ṣe ilé ìta ṣe ní ọdún ìtàbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀ma tí ó jẹ́ kí á ti wà pọ̀ ẹ̀ kí má jẹ́ kí iná dáadáa tó ń gbé ní fẹ́sì náà kó máa ìkórè rẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń lọ síwájú rẹ̀ kó má jẹ́ kó padà sẹ́yìn àwọn nǹkan tó kún díẹ̀ káwọn láti máa gbọ́rọ̀ bí kárí ṣe náà àbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀ma kó jẹ́ kárí ṣe ní ọ̀rọ̀ wá ṣàkóso university wa kò ní impact wa kò growth ọlọ́ọ̀jọ́ positive impact ní society ọlọ́ọ̀jọ́ máa ṣe láti padà sẹ́yìn iṣu ẹ̀kọ́ wà lórí ẹbí tó wà lórí ẹbí ìjẹ́bí ńlá university àti tó gba onítàjọ wa náà tàbí òkè lọ àbọ̀rọ̀ ìṣọ́ náà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ wa àwọn aráàlú wa àwọn ẹbí wa ká má ṣùgbọ́n ká má rí dáàbò ká má rí wa àbẹ̀lẹ̀ ọba káwọn aláìsàn wọn tó wà lọ sí ìtúkọ̀ ìgbà ọlọ́láfíà àdálàfíà padà sára àná tá a gbé tí wàá kéré tó náà jọ fún àná lálàáfíà májà ṣùgbọ́n àìsàn náà ṣàkóso wa ìṣàkóso ìfọ̀ nítorí tá a fi máa rájọ́ tá a máa rájọ́ lọ sí ẹ̀ṣọ́ wálẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀kọ́ ìwádìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ káwọn اللهم تقبل صلاتنا اللهم تقبل صيامنا اللهم تقبل قيامنا اللهم تقبل ركوعنا اللهم تقبل سجودنا اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب جهنم ومن عذاب القبر ومن فتنة المحيا ومن شر فتنة المسيح الدجال اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الكفر والفقر ونعوذ بك من عذاب القبر لا إله إلا أنت اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهم والعذاب ونعوذ بك من العجز والكسل ونعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر السمع وشر البصر وشر اللسان وشر قلبي وشر المني اللهم لك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم لك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم لك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا انت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا اصرف عن عذاب جهنم ان عذابها كان غراما ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا واسرافنا في امرنا وثبت اقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما ربنا عليك توكلنا واليك انبنا واليك المصير ربنا لا تجعلنا فتنة للذين كفروا واغفر لنا ربنا انك انت التواب الرحيم ربنا ظلمنا انفسنا وان لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار الفاتحة بسم الله